Hi, welcome back. This is step 5 of 6 easy lessons to write an analysis essay. We've done our close reading, we've made our claim, we've summarized, we've analyzed, and now it's time to write our introduction and conclusion. To review our lesson objectives: close reading, we read in a thoughtful and analytical examination of the text. We focused on significant details and patterns, and we developed a deep and precise understanding of the text and its forms, craft, and meaning. Our claim statement showed our close reading in that we revealed a deep and precise understanding of the text and the need to be supported by the text. Our summary was specifically dealing with the main idea, with key supporting details, without using direct quotes, and demonstrated our ability to differentiate key details from minor and insignificant ones. When we analyzed, we showed evidence of the close read by thoroughly discussing the author's use of a significant detail or pattern, or form, or craft, or meaning. Today, our objective is that students will be able to craft an introductory paragraph that has an effective hook and a clear thesis or claim statement. This shouldn't be too difficult since we've already crafted our claim. Our conclusion is that students will be able to craft a powerful conclusion that summarizes the introduction and leaves the readers with a powerful thought. You might be asking yourself, why are we just now writing our introduction and conclusion? We've already written the main body of the paper. My reasoning is this: sometimes, as you write the body of the paper, your claim statement might change. You might realize that your supporting evidence didn't support the original claim as much as you thought it did. So we wait until the very end and then go back and add in our introduction, and then we tap in our conclusion. I also want us to wait for our introduction because if we're thinking in terms of a hook, we want to know exactly what it is we're going to say so that I can lead readers straight to it. So our introduction consists of 3 parts, even though 2 are listed. We start with a hook. We want to catch our reader's attention. And then we build a bridge from that hook to our claim statement. We can never just jump from one to the other. We need to guide our readers there. At the very end, we reframe our thesis statement, or our claim, and then we leave the reader with a powerful thought. This is also bridged, but more concisely than in the introduction. It's very important to remember that our introduction and conclusion are 2 of the 3 big links holding your paper together. Without a solid introduction, your paper has no beginning, and without a solid conclusion, your readers have no resolution. When we talk about hooks, we can also call them leads. And lead is an acronym. I prefer it actually to hook, because then it gives me specific ideas on how I can start my paper. I can, let us hear. I can talk about something I've recently heard that connects to my topic. This could be a story or a quote, something my mom said to me, something a friend said in the hallway. If I choose to use the E, I'm going to explode the moment. I want to begin with a very powerful anecdote, something that explodes off the paper. I could anticipate the objection, such as, well, some say, or even some believe, but, right? Because we know that not everyone agrees. So sometimes that's a great place to start. Or D, we could describe the moment. We could tell exactly where we were when something happened. Where were our feet? What were we seeing? What did we smell? Any one of these would work. Now, I didn't draft the introduction and conclusion yet because I wanted to draft that with you. But to do that, I need to review. So again, bear with as we look back at the annotations and the claims. And if you're just now joining us, we're looking at Ruth B. and her Lost Boy lyrics. That's the song I've chosen to model and analyze with you. When I first look at it, I notice her use of diction, and I notice how predominantly at the beginning her use of diction is negative. That she's sad, she's alone, she has nowhere to go, no place to call home, and her only friend is a galaxy away in the moon. And that sometimes he leaves her as well. And then I notice that a shadow appears, and a shadow, being as inconstant as shadows are, is the only thing that offers her a smile, and the only thing that is promising her that she will never be lonely. Because of the shadow, she's hanging out with a friend. And so even though she's lost and she's in a land called Neverland, both negative ideas, those two negatives work together to make her feel positively. And so when she's bored, she still is able to play. And even though she's escaping danger from Captain Hook, she still realizes that Neverland is home and that here she's free. She also learns that she needs to have hope and she needs to believe in herself, as well as believe in the inconstant shadow. And then she realizes that the town that never loved her wasn't her family after all, but yet Neverland is. So I noticed that she had a specific pattern of using diction to convey mood and tone. I noticed what the text said, that she implied feelings of isolation and desire to be accepted. And I saw how there was an interconnectedness, that we all need to be included in something. When I made the claim statement, I went through the process. So I verified and I reread. I reviewed my annotations. I put my thoughts down in such a way that they could be argued and supported by the text. And I made sure they were in one clear, concise sentence. And my claim ended up being, through the allusion to Peter Pan and Neverland, and by using powerful diction, Ruth B's Lost Boy signifies that people desire a sense of freedom from the rigidity of adulthood and normal life. To review again, in my claim, I mentioned the author and the text. I named it. I was specific in what I was identifying. I used a strong verb, and I specifically said what the text was doing and what was being proven. I summarized the story of Peter Pan as according to Ruth B's Lost Boy, and I regaled us with the tales of her wanting to escape the dangerous Captain Hook and of never wanting to grow up. When I analyzed and I deep dived into the text, I noticed that not only was she feeling isolated and lonely, but she felt most free when she was in a land where you could stay a child forever. This is where I'm pulling from my evidence, and this is where I'm relying on my text. So in my analysis, I said that by using words with negative connotations and then shifting towards a positive tone, Ruth B. tapped into a person's need to feel wanted and loved. Her lyrics begin with, "There was a time that I was alone," and that she continued to state her only friend was the moon. Then I recognized that her tone shifted to a more positive connotation when Peter Pan arrived on the scene, and that even he recognized the loneliness. And this tone shift is what's caused with the diction and caused a more positive connotation. Furthermore, Ruth B's inclusion of words such as home and free and escape are what led me to my claim statement that she needed the escape from reality and the escape from adulthood. So I'm thinking about all of these things as I'm now crafting my introduction. When I craft my introduction, let me get out of this mode. And when I'm crafting my introduction, I want to think about the different ways I can lead a reader in. And I'm focusing on how Ruth B. and Lost Boy and the speaker is wanting to escape reality. And I'm thinking of a jingle by one of my favorite authors. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Anyone? Name it? James Patterson actually penned that jingle when he was still famous in advertising before he became an award-winning author. So I'm going to start out with something like that because it's a jingle. I've heard it. So this would be an example of let us hear. I'm going to tab in. I want to make sure I indent. I once heard a catchy jingle advertising a place where children can play all day. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. And kids should not be capitalized. And now I want to lead in. I actually want to revise this because remember, we're avoiding I statements. I'm going to attribute this to the author, James Patterson. Once penned, meaning wrote, James Patterson once penned a catchy jingle advertising a place where children can play all day. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. This feeling of wanting to stay youthful forever, but I have to stop and think what I want to say about this. Because remember, I'm going to connect it back to Lost Boys, and I want to connect it back to Peter Pan and Neverland, where you never, ever, ever grow up. But once you leave, you can't ever come back. And I'm thinking, too, excuse me, of the Fountain of Youth. And so there has always been this desire, this quest to stay young, long before James Patterson ever put it into a catchy tune. So this feeling of wanting to stay youthful forever isn't something new. For centuries, explorers have been on a quest to find a fountain of youth. I don't need to put that in quotes because they have. Ruth B's, excuse me, Ruth B's song, Lost Boys. Would I need that comma there? Am I setting it off with a necessary appositive phrase? And I am, because she has many, so we need to know which songs. Excuse me. So she has many lost songs, so we don't need to use a comma. So Ruth B's song Lost Boys is yet one more example of this quest to escape adulthood. And here is where, excuse me, I would just bring in, if I don't choke first, where I bring in my claim statement. So I'm going to copy and paste it for simplicity's sake. Because I'm OCD, let's make sure the fonts match. I want it all in Brie Serif, and I want it all in font size. No, we can go 12. Can we go 14? Sure. And I want it all the same color, just because. Alrighty, so now let's look at the introduction and see if I have a hook, a bridge, and a claim statement. And let's double check to make sure it matches. James Patterson once penned a catchy jingle advertising a place where children can play all day. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. This feeling of wanting to stay youthful forever isn't something new. For centuries, explorers have been on a quest to find a fountain of youth. Ruth B's song Lost Boy is yet one more example of this quest to escape adulthood. Through the illusion of Peter Pan and Neverland, and by using powerful diction, Ruth B's Lost Boy signifies that people desire a sense of freedom from the rigidity of adulthood and normal life. What do you think? I think it quite flows nicely. Alrighty, so I have my introduction, and I have I need to write my conclusion. Let's look back at the hints. With a conclusion, we always want to reframe our thesis, and we want to leave our reader with a powerful thought. So to help me reframe, I'm going to simply, hello, insert a text box apparently. And I'm going to paste my thesis here. Remember, in this sense, I'm using thesis and claim statement interchangeably because for this essay, your thesis is your claim. All right. So I don't want it to be exact. I want to change it up. When I'm looking at it, I want to concisely repeat without using word for word. So through the illusion of Peter Pan and Neverland and by using powerful diction, Ruth B's Lost Boys signifies that people desire a sense of freedom from the rigidity of adulthood and normal life. How about if I take the end of the sentence and move it to the beginning? Let's start there. Because sometimes when we want to rephrase, that's a perfect place to start. We're simply going to invert the sentence. As always, check and make sure you spell things correctly. So people desire a sense of freedom and escape from rigidity of adulthood and normal life, as evidenced by the song Lost Boy, through Ruth B's use of allusion and diction. Let's compare the two. On the left-hand side, through the allusion to Peter Pan and Neverland and by using powerful diction, Ruth B's Lost Boys signifies that people desire a sense of freedom from the rigidity of adulthood and normal life. And on the right-hand side, let's make the color font match just because I'm OCD. Nope, not the right. Let's go down one. There we go. People desire a sense of freedom and escape from the rigidity of adulthood and normal life, as evidenced by the song Lost Boy through Ruth B's use of allusion and diction. Okay, we're making progress, but we're still not quite there. So let's see what else we can do to change the wording up a little bit where it's even still a more concise repetition of the claim. I'm thinking. Ruth B signifies people desire as evidenced. I'm going to tap back into my hook and my bridge. I'm going to carry some of that over with it because remember, they all tie together. Even though this is my main claim statement, I don't want it to be too repetitive. People have adult. The challenges of adulthood. Ooh, let's say the isolations of adulthood. And in this case, I don't think we actually need to mention the song title and the author again because it's at the end of the paper. So now let's look at what we have. If we take away the Ruth being the Lost Boy, because we've said it before, and if our readers have forgotten so quickly, there's some other issues going on, right? So my conclusion now reads, for centuries, people have attempted to escape the realities of growing older and of dealing with the isolations of adulthood. And I'm going to say, such as in the children's story of Peter Pan and Neverland. Right? Okay, I think we're making some progress. So I've reframed my thesis. I now need to leave the reader with a powerful thought. But remember, just like the introduction needed a bridge, my conclusion needs a bridge. Your conclusion, though, is more concise than your introduction. You don't want it to be as lengthy because you're trying to wrap up your paper, not carry it on. So let's go back. And I want to think about my bridge. For centuries, people have attempted to escape the realities of growing older and of dealing with the isolations of adulthood, such as in the children's story of Peter Pan and Neverland. The lonely, whoops. Y'all ever have a word that you just keep misspelling? I keep leaving out that E in loneliness. The loneliness that some find that can come with being a grown-up. With the responsibilities. The loneliness that can come with responsibilities of being a grown-up can be overwhelming, leaving us with a desire for escape and a passion for play. But what powerful thought do I want to leave my readers with? Sometimes this is the more difficult part of the essay. Did you notice how now that I had already written my claim and I'd annotated the text and I did my summary and my analysis, my introduction just kind of fell into place. And now that I'm just trying to wrap it up, I need you to also notice that I didn't start with in conclusion, because good writers don't need to say in conclusion. If this were a speech, I would need to indicate to the audience that I'm about to stop talking and I'm about to give their ears a rest. But because they're getting to the end of the paper, I don't need to give them that visual clue. They can see the end of the paper for themselves. So I'm still thinking about a powerful thought that I can leave my readers with. For centuries, people have attempted to escape the realities of growing older and of dealing with the isolations of adulthood, such as in the children's story of Peter Pan and Neverland. The loneliness that can come with the responsibilities of being a grown-up can be overwhelming, leaving us with a desire for escape and a passion for play. Got it. Ruth B's Lost Boy taps into that natural human desire for escape and reminds us of the importance of finding our own Neverland. What do you think? I'll see you for lesson 6.